Hold on, because the Claressa Shields saga just took another turn that fans simply cannot overlook anymore. It's excuse after excuse after excuse. And honestly, at this stage, it barely matters who's pointing it out because the confusion keeps multiplying everywhere. Now, depending on where you're watching, especially here in the United States, the timing makes the situation look even stranger. As I'm recording this, we're practically at Eastern Time, nearly Central, close to Mountain, and right on Pacific. Yet after all the hype, teasing, and build-up, there is still no official fight announcement from Claressa Shields, despite her hinting only days ago that something huge was supposedly on the way. Instead of a concrete announcement, fans have been served silence, distractions, and constantly shifting narratives. Fairy tales, mixed signals, call it whatever you like, but reality is becoming harder to ignore, and you'd be shocked by how many people are now wondering whether anything was ever truly scheduled to begin with. At this point, Claressa Shields has created a pattern where bold claims appear, anticipation grows, and then absolutely nothing follows. That's exactly when trust starts cracking, because once people feel strung along enough times, they stop taking promises seriously. I genuinely expected something major today. A full reveal, a press release, something tangible. Noon arrived and passed. Nothing. Then I figured maybe by the end of business hours, we'd finally get the confirmation everyone was waiting for. But here we are deep into the evening, depending on your time zone, and there's still no fight announcement anywhere in sight. I checked Misleading Promotions. I checked records. I checked multiple official boxing updates, and there remains zero confirmation of any upcoming Claressa Shields fight posted anywhere. So now excitement is turning into confusion, because everyone keeps asking the same question. What exactly is happening behind the scenes? And here's where things become even more interesting. While fans waited for Claressa Shields' expected announcement, Misleading Promotions and World Boxing News released a completely different update instead. They revealed that DAZN's promoter roster continues expanding and now features some of boxing's biggest names, including Matchroom, Queensberry, Top Rank, Golden Boy, Boxer, Misleading Promotions, Eye of the Tiger, and MFP Pro, all operating together on the same platform. That's a major industry update. It dropped only hours ago with Boxing Glove branding attached. So naturally, the question grows louder. If the boxing world is moving this quickly, where exactly is Claressa Shields' announcement amid all this momentum? For months, anticipation has been building around the idea that a major fight reveal is always just around the corner. But here's the issue. When dates get teased, moments get hyped, and fans are told it's happening today, only for nothing to arrive, patience starts wearing thin. And once trust disappears, rebuilding becomes incredibly difficult. Real announcements don't need endless explanations, countdowns, or delays. They happen and people react. Even if the announcement arrives tomorrow, next week, or later, the impact simply won't feel the same. Right now, something feels off behind the curtain, and fans are asking serious questions. Are deeper issues delaying this fight announcement? Or is this another case of miscommunication, and overhype creating unnecessary confusion? Then there's another layer people keep discussing. Rumors about investigations and possible complications continue circulating without public confirmation. Nothing concrete, just speculation, but enough to make people wonder whether more is happening behind the scenes than what's being shown. Honestly, I can't fully make sense of it either, and that's exactly what keeps this entire situation so murky. Now, things get even more controversial. Some believe certain public moments are deliberately pushed to distract attention from a missing fight announcement. Agree or disagree, that's a separate debate. But it's difficult to ignore how often the conversation shifts whenever expectations reach their highest point. And you'd be surprised how many viewers are connecting dots, whether those dots belong together or not. At the same time, there's constant activity surrounding her image, appearances, media opportunities, commentary work, and everything happening outside the ring. That's where frustration starts building for many fans, because boxing supporters want fights, not confusion. When someone seems active everywhere except inside the ring, questions naturally begin piling up, leaving people wondering what the real priority actually is right now. Then, of course, all those past controversies start marching right back into the conversation again. old incidents, explosive moments, disciplinary situations people haven't exactly forgotten, fair or unfair. Every single one of those issues begins stacking onto the current narrative. Suddenly, this isn't just about one missing announcement anymore. It's about an entire pattern that many people believe they're watching unfold. And that's exactly why the situation feels so split. On one side, supporters insist everything is perfectly normal and the announcement has simply been delayed. On the other side, critics point to every delay, every silence, and every sudden shift in focus as proof that something much bigger could be going wrong. But here's the reality. Nobody outside the inner circle truly knows what's happening behind closed doors. What we do know is pretty straightforward. Fans were told to expect a fight announcement. A specific time frame was mentioned, and that deadline came and went without anything officially released. And in boxing, timing matters, momentum matters, trust matters. Once those begin slipping away, even a legitimate announcement later doesn't land with the same impact anymore. If an announcement eventually arrives, we'll cover it and break everything down when it actually happens. But right now, the bigger concern fans keep highlighting is this ongoing pattern surrounding Claressa shields and the repeated promises that something major is coming. Because honestly, it's starting to feel less like updates and more like a cycle designed to keep attention locked in place. And you'd be surprised how many viewers are now debating whether this is strategy, miscommunication, or plain inconsistency. Here's where things get complicated. There have been multiple occasions where Claressa shields herself discuss timing, preparation periods, and how announcements are supposed to align with training camps and fight schedules. But when fans compare those statements to what's happening in real time, the puzzle pieces don't seem to fit together the way people expected. The message remains the same. It's coming soon. Yet, somehow, the actual confirmation never arrives. That's where frustration begins taking over. Supporters argue that delays happen constantly in boxing, and nothing becomes official until contracts are finalized. Critics, meanwhile, see the endless repetition of those coming soon statements and believe it feels more like hype management than genuine promotion. And you won't believe how divided the audience has become because both sides are convinced they're seeing the truth while interpreting the situation in completely different ways. At the same time, there's a growing discussion surrounding her behavior outside the ring, including online exchanges, public comments, and controversies that keep finding their way back into the spotlight. Whether people agree with those criticisms or not, they all become part of the broader perception issue. In boxing, image matters almost as much as performance itself. When attention keeps drifting away from the ring, people naturally start filling the gaps with their own assumptions. That's exactly where the tension sits today. On one side, fans keep saying, wait for the official announcement. On the other, critics respond, we've been waiting for months and hearing the same thing. And once trust starts eroding like that, even the simplest updates stop feeling simple. At the end of the day, this isn't only about whether a fight gets announced. It's about expectations, communication, and how many times those expectations have been reset without any real closure. Because once fans feel like they're being led around in circles, every future announcement has to work twice as hard just to regain credibility.